Just you. We will be conducting a conversation inside the music with Carol Riddick.
Conversations inside the music, where we discuss the topics you think about when you're chilling with your fuzzy slippers and your onesie.
Yeah!
Welcome to Conversations Inside the Music with Carol Riddick.
What's the deal? Yours truly, the magnificent DJ Jazzy Jeff.
Hi, this is Jill Scott, a.k.a. Jilly de Philadelphia.
Hey, this is Gerald Beasley.
Conversations inside the music.
With my dear friend, the amazing Carol Riddick.
So get ready to join in on the conversation and chill with us on another edition of Conversations Inside the Music with Carol Riddick.
Well, hello, and welcome to today's edition of Conversations Inside the Music. I'm your host, Carol Riddick. Our guest today has collaborated with Prince, Chaka Khan, George Duke, Will Smith, and those icons' names are only at the tip of the iceberg. He became the musical director of the R&B singing group The Rude Boys shortly after graduating from high school, and he was honored by Music Radar as the 27th greatest keyboard player of all time. Family, welcome to today's conversation with the soul jazz superman himself and my friend, Mr. Frank McComb.
You should have put the friend part first.
I started to. Should I do it again? Look.
As long as it's in there, that's all that matters. It's
All right.
in there. That's good, really.
How you doing?
I can't complain. I don't know. It costs too much money to do that.
You ain't never lied about that, okay?
Your mic got stuck down in my fat throat. I've been having all this COVID food. I can't get out on the road and work it off. So
Oh my
I'm at
goodness.
home eating and watching TV, and I'm gaining all this weight. So the microphone got stuck in my fat neck.
Frankie, I just told somebody that I have five. I have five necks, 5 chins and 5. That's what I said.
Bad.
I can't stand it.
Yeah, I can't do it. Most cats, they have a 6-pack. I got a 1-pack. I got a fat pack. Hey, we need James Poison on this call.
Oh my goodness. You know what? You are so right. You know James is crazy, so. Oh my goodness. I want to go back to this conversation that we were starting. It's so funny. I said, I'm not going to ask Frank this because he's not watching anything.
Surprise.
You said Me TV. You don't even know how much I love Me TV.
Me TV. Yes, definitely. That's the black man version of it. I have been binge watching on old school TV. I don't want to see nothing that looks realistic. I don't want to see nothing evil. I don't want to see nothing. Give me some cartoons. Give me some Tom and Jerry. Hell, I'll pull out my Charlie Brown DVDs if I have to. I can't do TV right now. I just can't. I want nothing that looks real. And it's bad enough they're making a lot of movies that would be realistic and now looking like. I like my Three's Company, Charlie's Angels. And I'm telling you, I watch the Logo Channel because the Logo Channel got the best stuff on it. Shirley, what is that? Laverne and Shirley's on. I'm telling you, they got the best stuff. And then, yeah, I watch all my Jeffersons, and I even love Carol Burnett. I'm watching Carol Burnett at night.
I watched it last week.
11 for me, and it's only 11 o'clock every night for me. I'm in LA, so that's like 2 in the morning for you.
Yep, and yeah. I watched Carol Burnett last week. Believe it or not, let me tell you, I love
theater.
Me too.
Yeah,
that was a thing that my mother and I shared. My mother introduced me to theater, and she loved the Carol Burnett show.
And you know the guy, what was his name? He also went, right after Carol Burnett, he went over to Kyle Wagner. After Carol Burnett, he went over to Wonder Woman. Did you know he just died? He just passed away in March. Yep.
Frankie, you are speaking my language. Anybody who knows me knows that I love Columbo.
That's me. All day. Columbo's number 1 on my list. Oh, Columbo is where it's at, man.
Let me slip. Anybody who
Columbo got the answer. He got the answer before he asked you. That is my dude. Man. Wait. That ain't funny eye. But ain't nothing funny about him busting you at the end.
Nothing. Okay? Nothing. And
Columbo's where it's at. Yeah. And Columbo's so cold, he ain't even got a theme song.
Isn't that funny?
I love old school TV.
Me
too. Don't get me started on Dallas. They won't put Dallas on TV, so I got all the DVDs.
Shut up. Yeah. You do not.
J.R. Ewing is my mentor when it comes down to business.
Frankie, that is hilarious. I had no idea that we had that in common. I had no idea.
All these years we know each other. Old school TV. Yep.
You know what? Speaking of things that we have in common, now when you and I met,
It was because of working with Jeff and Will.
Yep.
So their tour was my first, but I had no idea that you had worked with the Rude Boys just prior to that.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was a heck of
I
a
was.
that was a heck of a
Yeah.
transition. What was that like?
Yeah. Well, for me, it was just another gig, from one gig to another gig to another gig, because I'm versatile. God has blessed me to be able to conquer many different styles of music, or quite a few different styles of music. I mean, there's R&B, there's rap, there's gospel. I mean, we're talking old school R&B and new stuff, the new school stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was working with a kid, Brandon Howard, Mickey Howard's boy, and he was doing some production, and I was just playing on some stuff for him, probably, God, I'm guessing maybe a decade ago. Didn't know that he put it on Mario's record. So the kid
Wow.
Mario, I think he did something on his record, or Marion, or one of them boys. So I'm on their record too, and didn't even know
Look at
it.
God.
so,
Look at him.
so,
But that's
yeah,
you. I mean,
all these
Frankie,
different
that's you.
styles. But that's what it's like for me. I just, it's a gig. Okay, I'll do it. I'll play it. Whatever. Frankie Beverly to Tina Marie to John P. Key and Fred Hammond to
Yep.
Will and Jeff to
Yep.
Gamble and Huff. I just try not to limit myself. Anything that I can get my hands on, I just do it.
I was about to say, I don't think you could limit yourself even if you attempted to do so. I was a teenager when we met. I don't even know if you remember this. We were all so in love with a voicemail message that you created. Do you remember that?
Wow, geez, that had to be long
Yeah.
time ago. I remember I used to play and sing on mine. That was ages ago. Now, if you call my phone, you're gonna hear the synthesizer solo on my version of Superstition that I did on my record. So I never put my voice on anymore.
I will never forget that because we were
Wow.
all so in awe. See, that's because you don't know the phenomenon that you are. We just kept wanting to hear your voicemail message. Crazy does that sound?
Oh, that's cool, man. That's so cool. Wow, I did do that, huh? I totally forgot about that. Then I would always quit singing, or I would perform on my greetings. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that. And I wasn't even programming music back then. I had to have just pushed the button and just started singing and playing.
You sure
Because
did.
we didn't have the technology then that we have now.
It was raw and uncut, and that, I mean, that was what made it so special and so amazing, because it was raw and uncut. But I mean, I know I'm not telling you. I know I'm not telling you anything that you haven't heard before, but you've just not heard it
No,
from
but
me.
it's a blessing. I mean, no, it's a blessing to even hear that, because people can always say your stuff is whack too.
Listen, hey.
How you give a great compliment. Oh man, you are awesome. You are wonderful. But then you be the other way around. Man, you suck. You need to quit. You need to get out the game, bro.
And
yeah, man.
They don't hold back,
especially in this day and age.
I
No,
know.
we're now than ever before.
That's so true. I want to ask you, because it's something I've always wanted to know. What's your favorite part about working with other artists?
First off, the artists. I have to be able to work with them. I think that's my favorite part right there. I can't create with you if I can't get along with you. I mean, unless there's a whole lot of money that's saying that that's the inspiration a brother gonna need. Because then I look at it as strictly a job. When it becomes labor, it's time to take a break from it. That's first and foremost. Mm-hmm. But if it's strictly a job and I'm hired to do the job, then I just know how to tune that foolishness out and stick to the gig.
Well, Frankie, praise God for that. That's not always an easy thing, because we rely so heavily on spirit and on that connection to create.
It can be a challenge. It really can. I would have to say that my favorite part is being able, first off, to even be able to work with that artist, and then from there, the creative part. Coming up with the ideas. Then I do have another favorite part, is the business. If you're dealing with an artist that has a business mindset, I'm not trying to trip on you, and I'm only gonna get this small percentage. You gonna get 80%. I'm gonna get 20, and then this person you bringing in 500-600 other people that you got to split with. I ain't going for that either. It's either equal splits, or just don't waste my time.
I understand that.
Yeah,
I do definitely understand. That's a whole nother conversation when you start talking about business.
We can have it.
But a lot of people, rely so heavily on the creative connection that they hope that, we connected and, we bonded and it's cool and it's all good, and that you won't think about the business. And that's not the way the world works.
Right. I feel you.
Yeah, that's just not the way the world works. We all want to eat, right?
Yeah, we all got to eat because music show ain't gonna pay the bills. Music bring the money in to pay the bills. We can be creative all day, but let's make sure the bills paid.
Yeah, because I like
Yeah,
lights.
man.
I like electricity.
Without the electricity, I ain't cutting nothing.
I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
saying.
Hey, man, and God bless you. Even the churches ask for offering. Come on now. Hey,
You know, you know what? And I already know you, so I should know better.
it's beyond keeping gas in the preacher's Cadillac. It's about keeping the lights on in the church to even have service.
But there's a lot of
Yeah,
truth to that. There's truth to
yeah.
that.
I mean, I'm not saying I'm the smartest musician in the world, but I'm far from the dumbest. I've
I,
sustained since 2004 to 2020 as an indie artist, so I
I
had to learn something.
frankly, I know
And
that
it wasn't always easy, but I got it done.
what you just said was a prolific statement that you have survived since 2004 as an indie artist. And I know that you handle your bookings. I know you do so much of what a lot of people rely on others to do. Like,
Mhm.
what do your day-to-day responsibilities look like on and off the road?
Well, before this COVID thing shut me down for a minute, yeah, I'm looking looking at this as a COVIDcation, because before this COVIDcation, so to speak, I was on the computer, I was on the phone, texting, emailing, back and forth, booking my own shows, and people would reach out to me directly to, cutting out the middleman. And that actually stemmed from having the Frank McComb trio back in 1987, 17 years old, playing around Cleveland, Ohio, 17, 18, 19, going up to Erie, playing gigs and the whole nine. So I went from booking my own gigs in the city of Cleveland and the surrounding areas to booking concerts around the world. It's the same thing. I just had to
Wow.
expand my mind. For me, day to day was, talking on the phones, emailing back and forth, and then trying to find the time to still record my own music. Because, I got into that because I would do sessions for producers, and they would let me come in and sing on their records, their demos. They would pay me $100 here, $50 there, and I would just do them as favors. And they would say,
Wow.
"Oh, Frank, when you're ready and you got some ideas, come on to the studio, we cut them." But then when I cash in on that, they had somebody coming in, they would give me the
Mhm.
shuffles. I figured, okay, I got to get some gear and learn how to do this for myself. And that's how I ended up recording, mixing, mastering, engineering, and releasing my own records. I would go from booking dates to working on my music to finding a way to keeping it all going, every day, and still had to find the time to be a husband and father. Y'all women know how to master this thing called balance. We as men, we have to practice it all the time. So that's not always easy for us, but we make it work, you know.
Knowing, you're a husband and father, and you're a
Mhm.
businessman. Don't misunderstand me, because I know that you all are more than capable of doing it, but I do also know that there are
Mhm.
not a lot of men who are able to manage both successfully.
And I have had my shortcomings too, man. Oh man, I have had my shortcomings when this industry would just piss me off. And you get the counterfeits that'll reach out and say they want to do business, and then when it's time for them to send that deposit, you don't hear from them no more. They've wasted your
Mm,
time, and then
mm,
that's a date on the calendar that you could have filled up with something else.
so
So that
true.
kind of stuff, it just makes me so mad, and I had to learn how not to bring that anger into my house.
That's
That's
it.
not easy. That turned into James Evans on you. And
Listen,
then you the frustration in the house, and then
listen.
wife and the kids just leave you in the house because they don't want to deal with that foolishness. Leave you in the house by yourself. You work it out, and Frank, we leaving.
But
We going to the movies. Nobody want to be around a frustrated man. You
that's
know.
true. That's so true.
So I was bringing that in my house, man. I had to learn how to, and that's a process, man. You don't learn that overnight. But I had to learn how to stop bringing that anger and the issues of the record business into my house.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
had to learn how to do that. I had to learn how to keep James Evans from getting in.
I
James Evans was
listen.
always mad at the system.
I applaud you for that, because I can only imagine. Well, no, I can't.
Man.
I can't. I can't imagine. What am I saying? What am I talking about?
Yeah, oh yeah, you can imagine it, but you sure ain't gonna want to live it. That's for sure.
No, I cannot imagine being a man and dealing and having to navigate my frustrations,
Yeah, it's
because you
crazy.
guys deal
Yeah,
with
it's
different things. I
crazy.
mean, we deal with our own thing as women, but I cannot, like, legitimately imagine being a man and being a husband and a father and being a businessman
Oh,
and
you know what I
being like,
thought? I thought you would say you couldn't imagine being that wife dealing with somebody like me. That's what I thought you meant. Yeah, that's a whole other monster. Yeah, you can imagine being that woman having to deal with a frustrated man. You just don't want to live it. That's the damn sure.
Now that's the
That's
truth.
crazy. Yeah, you don't want to deal with that. No, nobody should have to deal with that, man. I find myself apologizing to my wife all the time now. I'm sorry I took you through all that havoc and just was frustrated with the business and the whole night. I'm telling you, man, it is crazy. But we just went on 27 years? 26 years. I'm sorry, been together 27, married 26 on May 21st.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, 26 years of dealing with my foolishness.
Oh my. No,
1 year, 26 times.
Listen, that is love right there. That's what you call true love.
Yeah, she younger there with me with all this foolishness with this business.
Wow. Okay, so let me ask you this. What would you say is a crazy but true, or maybe just like an unknown fact about you?
An unknown fact about me?
Mm-hmm.
I don't sing to Nisa. I don't sing to Nisa at all. No,
you
I don't sing to my kids, none of that. They look at me and laugh. Hey, can you come down and check the oil on my car? That's my daughter all day. You know? And my son is like, Dad, I need you to come listen to my tracks.
Wait, you've never sung to Nisa?
I call myself showing out, right? I had written this tune. And back then, she was working. You know, when we first got together, so she came out of my place after work. And I just finished writing what I thought was a cold-blooded tune, right? And she gets over to the house and she sits down and turns on the TV. And I just go into the song, right? Just showing out. Ooh, girl, yeah. Ooh, ooh, girl, you and me. Yeah, right. She turned the TV down and said, and when she turned the TV down, I was like, yeah, I got it now. Yeah. She said, Frank. I said, yeah, baby, yeah. She said, can you hold it down, son? I'm watching Martin Lawrence, man.
She said, She said, we don't have time for that. We don't have time for that.
I was like, you know that sound on the Price is Right.
She shut you completely.
Yeah. But see, that's how I do. But then that's how I knew she was digging me for who I was and not for what I do.
See, that's what it's about, though. 26 years later,
I ain't put myself in that position again.
I bet you didn't. You know, because I remember when you guys were dating. I remember, and I'm thinking, you never sang to your wife.
Nope, not at all. Not even at our wedding. I played "Most Beautiful Girl in the World" was a song by Prince. And didn't know I was going to end up working with the guy, but yeah, Prince was the tune that I played. I went through all these songs. I went to the extreme that could describe what I was feeling, you know, up to preparing for the wedding. And then when we were standing up there, I was like, yeah, I'm glad I didn't pick this song or that song or this song because they ain't describing what I feel. So I wrote my own, the wedding song for Love Stories, and I just could not. I didn't find. I mean, there's some great songs out there, but I just could not find a song that strictly spoke to marriage. So I wrote the wedding song for that reason. Yeah.
Wow.
Most Beautiful Girl in the World was the tune. That was the tune that when we said I do, that was the tune. Most Beautiful Girl.
Well, you know, I'm a fan of everything you write.
That's funny. I never told Prince that when I worked with him. I never told him that I used his tune in my wedding. Never did.
Isn't that something? Things that you think about right now, after the fact.
After the fact, yeah.
Wow. It's always those things that you think about after the fact. You said, well, where was that thought then?
Right.
Where was that? When I was standing right next to him, where was that?
Where was that at?
Well, let me ask you this. I want to know if there is someone on your radar of whom you feel we should be aware. You know, we want to show some love and give a spotlight to somebody that may not yet be recognized.
Oh, my son. All day. My son. Skinny Kid Frank. If you all are looking for beats out there, look for Skinny Kid Frank on BeatStars. I think
Skinny Kid Frank.
Skinny Kid Frank. Yeah, and he's on Instagram. Y'all follow him there. I mean, he's got some stuff.
I love it.
Right now, as we speak, he in his own world, his own section of the house, making his beats. I love that boy. I'm telling you, that boy graduated with 3 degrees at 21 years old. 3 degrees, kinesiology, sociology, and psychology. 3 degrees.
Are you kidding me?
And now just got accepted into the LA Film School. This boy is no joke.
Frank, that's phenomenal.
And holding down a job, paying him good money. That boy, I credit his mama because I was on the road. She the one did all the whooping. Nisa did all the whooping. I didn't do all the whooping. She did all the whooping. I just tried to talk him out of getting in trouble. son. Tell Mari too, my daughter Mari. I say, y'all,
Yes.
let's go and talk about it before Mama get to you, because when she start getting to you, it's over.
How
Vegas
old are
doing
they
her thing.
now?
Mari's 25, living in Vegas. Frank is 23, still here in LA.
Wow.
He doing his thing. Yeah.
That always amazes me because I think there's something that each one of us can say that we knew when we were younger. Like I knew this, or I knew this about myself, or I knew
Well,
that I was going to say this.
I can confess that to you. I moved to Philly September of '91 after touring with the Rude Boys, and then I moved to LA November 9th, 1992, after my year in Philly, and I never looked back. And see, I always tell people I was born and raised in a place where the snow came to me and left when it felt like it. But I'm living in a place now where I can go to the snow and leave when I feel like it. In the wintertime, I can go up to the mountains and watch the people ski. And the same day, I can go to the beach in the winter and watch the boys surf.
You know, the thing about it, I'm listening to you say this, and I remember when you left Philly.
I miss those days when we all got together and played. And me, you, James, John Roberts would come around every now and then. And man, Ivan, all those guys.
Yes.
Man, we used to have fun. Philly was where it was at, man. Every now and then, Will would pop through because he was in LA before me. Fresh Prince of Bel Air. Yeah.
I have to tell you that I appreciate these memories.
Oh, I got another memory for you. Deanna Williams and I Am Convention.
The International Association of African American Music. Yes.
That's it.
And some people are just finding out that we have Black Music Month because of Deanna Williams.
Yeah.
Sister. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Yes. The one.
Deanna Williams has she's been a force, man. She's been a force in Philly. I mean, she was in radio at what, 19, 18, something like that. Yeah. Deanna. Yeah. Deanna and I were real. That was my buddy, man. I haven't talked to him forever, but yeah, Deanna Williams.
I don't think either one of us could talk enough about how much we love Deanna and have anybody understand. But she's that being, she's that spirit, she's that individual. Once you meet her, everything about her is consistent. From day one, she is definitely a force. Frank, again, thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing your time, your energy, your attention, and for maintaining a commitment to the music industry and to yourself, being true to you. Because we appreciate you and applaud you for it. But
thank you.
I'm just grateful to be your friend.
I appreciate it. Yeah, I appreciate you even calling me to even be on this, for real. All the artists, you call it little me. I said, okay, I guess I'm going to pencil her in.
Don't you do it.
Because I had a radio show, The Living Room, with Frank McComb.
I remember.
And, I did it almost 4 years. And I loved having a radio show. I mean, it was syndicated. A lot of folks were tuned into it. I was on every night somewhere. Wow. I was programming the radio show on the plane.
I don't know if you know, I actually went to school. I studied communications at Temple. So I was studying. I did. Yes, I did.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just going back to a part of my roots. I did not study. I did not study music. Music is my passion and my love, in addition to communications.
Man, you need to be doing this. You should have been doing this a long time ago.
Well, listen, the music bug had bitten me, and I was enveloped in, all the love I have for that. And I was catering to that passion at that time. And now I'm adding this to my, So I'm bringing it full circle. That's how I see it.
Well, you got the voice for it. You got the intelligence for it. You know how to speak. So that's a wonderful thing. Yeah, man. And I mean, you can't get a better endorsement than Deanna having you fill in for it.
None. You don't.
I mean, really.
You don't get a better
endorsement
than that. No, you don't. You don't.
I know the feeling. I was doing an interview recently when it comes down to being endorsed by the legends. I was doing an interview with KJLH's Kevin Nash last week or the week before. Actually, it was on my anniversary, the 21st. And who crashed the Zoom meeting was Stevie Wonder. He's got enough money. He ain't trying to get paid for something like that. He didn't even have to do it. He came right on and was like, Frank, I remember the day we met, yada, 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 yada. Yeah, man. Stevie and I met on my birthday in 1993. I was 23 years old.
I don't know if you'll remember this when Deanna hosted an I Am convention in Washington, D.C. And there was an after party. And at the after party, there was Natalie Cole, there was Stevie Wonder, there was Bernard Bell. There were so many people. And I remember joking and laughing with Bernard Bell, and he introduced me to Stevie.
Oh, that's cool.
And he said, he said, come on, let's take this picture. And Stevie, he kept teasing. Both of them had their arms around me. I was in the middle. Stevie kept saying, "I see you looking at my woman. I see you. I see you looking at my woman." when I, it must have taken us about 10 minutes to take that picture because of all the shenanigans.
Steve is a clown, man. Steve is a clown. He is a clown. He put me on the spot. Stevie calls in and says, "Tell Frank to do. I got a request for him." I said, "Kevin, what is his request? I ain't trying to be put on the spot by Steve. What's his request?" He said, "I don't know." And then he finally told him. Then we get back on the air, and he said, "Stevie wanted you to do People Make the World Go Round." I said, "I don't know that song. Tell Stevie to send me the lyrics. I don't know that song. I always try to put somebody on the spot." So we just kind of bapped around on People Make the World Go Round, just a little chorus part. But what throws people off is that you can't tell he's telling a joke unless you pay attention to what he's saying.
That's so true. That's so true.
How Stevie is. His voice doesn't change,
He is so true to comedy. That's what it caught me off guard. I had no idea. I had no idea he was such a prankster.
He's a prankster. We were clowning. We were in Indonesia once, and it was me, him, and George Duke. It was the Java Jazz Festival, and it was a big jam session, and Stevie and George had just gotten to the festival. I was there because I had just finished playing a show. The owner of the festival was like, Steve and George just got here, go hang out with him. So I went over there and started talking to him, and I noticed this band on the stage making all this noise trying to get their attention. And it's like hundreds of people in their faces snapping pictures and stuff. So I made my way in there, said hi to them both, and then I started walking towards the stage. And we had just lost Whitney and Don Cornelius at this time. And as I'm going to the stage, here come these other musicians. They knew what I was going to do. David Fingers Haynes, who's a drummer, and Ben Williams. They trailed me up to the stage. And Maurice Brown was already on the stage trying to get them boys off. Some group from England that was just making some noise. So we get them off the stage. And I grabbed the mic and I said, "Yo, can I get everybody's attention in this room, please?" So people started paying attention. And I said, "Look, we just lost Don Cornelius. We just lost Whitney Houston. You guys have Stevie and George's faces like a bunch of fans. You should be up here honoring these guys while we still got them." And see, I didn't even know we were about to lose George. Had no idea. So I said, "I'm going to kick this little tribute off right now." And I called out "Superwoman, Where Were You When I Needed You?" And David had already played it with me. Ben had not. So I think Maurice was calling out the changes to him while we were up there playing. So as we playing, here comes George and Stevie coming up to the stage. Stevie escorts them to the stage. And I'm like, "What y'all doing, man? We trying to pay homage to y'all." And George said, "No, Stevie wanted to jam with y'all, man. So, he had me walk him out." So Stevie, he gets up on the stage, pulls his harmonica out, says in front of the microphone. And Duke was so humble. He said, "What am I supposed to play?" I said, "Well, why don't you take this keyboard rig and I'll go stand up there with Stevie." He said, "Nah, man, I'm just kidding. I had my time, man. Go on, sit there and play. I'm going to go over here to this Yamaha on the corner over here." It was a Yamaha grand piano. It was poorly mic'd. It wasn't tuned. And Duke went over and played that joint, believe it or not. Couldn't believe it. So while we up there jamming, killing it, Stevie breaks it down. He says, "Frank, I haven't seen you in a long time." I said, "We were just together like a couple months ago." He said, "No, man, I ain't seen you. It's been a minute, man." And I said, "Steve, that's a lie from the pit of hell. We were just at Prince's house, man. Why you gonna say that?" And he turns his head towards me because he knows where my voice is coming from. He pulls his glasses down with them green, funny looking eyes and say, "I haven't seen you in a long time, man. I haven't seen you, son." I was like, man.
I cannot imagine the number of stories that you have. I saw George shortly before he passed. I saw him in Las Vegas.
Wow. Duke told me, he said, "Man, I ain't got my beard no more. I forgot what it looked like." I forgot what my face looked like. I've had a beard for so long.
When I saw him, because it took me a minute, I said, is
it really him?
Is
right.
It him? Yeah.
Yep. Wow, man. I tell you, I still have a voicemail from Duke. Duke called me. Wow. It was for the reopening of the Howard Theater. I said I'd never get rid of it. Duke called me on the phone. I was doing a recording session for a buddy of mine, Anthony Crawford, out here in LA. And my phone rang, but I couldn't answer because I was in the vocal booth. So I had to send him the voicemail. And I'm glad because I hold on to that. Of all the voicemails that I got from him, I held on to that one. And when I checked it, he said, "Hey, Frank, I thought you was coming over for coffee. When you coming over for coffee, man? Well, look, man, I ain't got me doing these arrangements for the opening of the Howard Theater. And I wanted to know if you would come and be a part of it. I'll never get rid of it. Duke was so cool. He was the nicest guy, man. He was the kind of dude you can call at 2:00 in the morning and go over an agreement, go over a contract with him.
Wow.
And then say, okay, don't call me again until after 2:00 tomorrow afternoon. Because Duke he did nothing before 1:00.
Listen, I love it, and I love his honesty. That's you know what? That's
Duke
a sweet
funny.
soul.
He was funny. He didn't do nothing before 1:00, and his thing was coffee and red wine.
Coffee and red wine.
And he loves Seattle, Washington. These are things.
I love Seattle too.
Seattle's beautiful.
He introduced me. Well, so Rochelle Farrell introduced me to George Duke, and then he introduced me to his wife,
Corinne.
Yes.
Corinne was cool. She was so cool.
She was so sweet. She was so sweet. They were just the cutest couple to me.
They were the coolest, man. Weren't they? Yeah, they were. They really were. Corinne kept George together. It's like the moment Corinne passed, George didn't last a year.
Yeah.
You know, they were close.
The two of them together were like sugar. They were so
Right?
they were so sweet. They were just so like, oh, they're so cute.
Were.
They were so cute.
Man, they were the coolest. But it's nothing like being endorsed by the people that you grew up listening to and studying, and then you become friends with them, or at least they endorse you. Like, I never thought Frankie Beverly would give me a nickname. You know, anytime somebody played, a musician played in a band with Frankie Beverly and Mays, you got a nickname. So with me being Frank, and you know the head of the band is the artist Frankie, Rome Laurie nicknamed me Key for keyboards. To this day, if they saw me, they gonna call me Key.
Let me tell you something, Frankie. It doesn't get any better than that.
Take 6, they called me an alien. Mark Kibble.
Well, yeah, because you are.
They called me an alien.
Well, I've called you that myself. I've definitely called you an alien. Yeah.
And it's such a blessing because, you know, when you've had all the odds stacked against you, you know, 2 major labels, one being white, one being black, and then an indie label, and then somebody bootlegs your music and gets $50 a CDR for it. You know, you have all the odds stacked against you, but God says, that's exactly what I want for you, because now I can show the world what I'm going to do for you.
First of all,
against what they did to you.
God always shows that what is for you is for you and you alone.
Absolutely.
And he makes it so. He makes sure that not only you know it, but everybody else knows it. Well, my faith does not waver, so I'm a firm believer and just, stepping back and watching the wonders of God, because he does. He does. Mm-hmm. And that's with an ellipsis.
Absolutely. I'm telling you, they tried to, to shut me up, because they felt that, and I say they meaning all of those who spoke against Frank McComb, because Frank wasn't quote unquote marketable. I don't hear a hit song. And I look at it like this. I don't think every record company is a bad one. I just ain't found one to fit me yet. Mm-hmm. So, I don't want to put my mouth on people.
But maybe that was in God's plan. Maybe that was his, that is in his blueprint for you. That's your journey. That there isn't one. That you, Booby Scoop, listen.
Yep, that's me.
That is the label for you. Yes.
That is my label.
Yes.
Booby Scoop Music.
Hello.
And I'm still sustaining, doing my music, putting it out. And if there was no market for what it is that I do, with no market for what it is that you do, you and I would not have the names we have. We wouldn't do shows. And you be out there doing your thing, man. I see you out there. I see you out there doing your shows.
Listen.
That's right. We've done a couple of them together.
Yes,
so
we have.
Yeah. So you out there doing it, man. And that's what you got to do.
I love it.
I refuse to sit back and wait on the world to quote unquote get ready for me. I would lose a whole lifetime just sitting back waiting on people with all this music, man. No. My job is to get it out, as Malcolm X said, by any means necessary.
And you know what my grandmother would also say is that you don't know what you want until you get it. So
right.
Okay. My grandmother, and she would say that with such conviction. Oh, child, shut up. You don't know what you want until you get it.
Till you get it. I like that.
Until you get
it.
Yes, but she was so right about it that I had to keep that in my back pocket.
You know, my friend Ellis Marcellus, the late Ellis Marcellus, Branford and Winton's father, he just died from the COVID mess. Ellis used to say to us all the time, you can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make him thirsty.
Drink. Yeah. Oh, thirsty. Oh, Frankie.
Because if he ain't thirsty, he damn sure ain't gonna drink nothing. You wasting your time even taking him.
You ain't never lied.
Yeah,
Honey Bunch. Well,
No,
listen,
you
I
can't
can
do
sit
it.
here and talk to you all day. Please give me some of love. And the baby, well, they're not even babies anymore. I can't even say the babies.
Yeah, the grown
yes,
babies.
I can. Yeah, I was about to say I can say
grown
the
babies.
grown babies.
The
I can say
grown
that.
babies.
Yeah.
Family, that wraps up another edition of Conversations Inside the Music with yours truly, Carol Riddick. As always, thank you so much for joining the conversations. If you like what you heard, please tell a friend and be sure to check out prior interviews on any media stream where you typically listen to your podcasts. Also, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to be notified when new episodes are available. And follow us on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram at Conversations Inside the Music and on Twitter at Chat and Chill. Whatever you do, be good to you and to those around you. And remember, to whom much is given, much is required. Catch you next time on another edition of Conversations Inside the Music with Carol Riddick.
Conversations Inside the Music with Carol Riddick.